3 years ago, when I started my channel, I prided myself on truth, honesty, and sprinkled in with a little mix of humor. And when I make a mistake, I've got to come forward and I've got to own up to this stuff. And I see these results, I see these approval numbers on Rotten Tomatoes, and my. Everything that I said about the Marvels, obviously, if we take a look at these very real, very legitimate reviews where you got an 85% audience review, an audience approval rating, and even the all audiences all the way over 71%, and then you take a look at the top critics, well, you could just move it back to all critics, and that's totally fine. It is certified fresh. Everybody loves the Marvels, guys. Don't worry about any of that negative reporting that you're seeing because the critics say that it's great. You know what else they said was great as well? Another gigantic bomb. Oh, I'm sorry. No. The Flash was a totally different animal, right? There was cameos, there was key jangling, it was at the tail end of a dying franchise. Completely different scenario, obviously, right? And there you have similar review scores and oh wow, in the 40s, all critics at the 60s, top critics in the 40s, verified audience in the 80s, all audience in the 70s. No, it's clearly coincidental that we would have one of the biggest bombs of the year, verifiable. It's already out of the theaters, and the brand new kid on the block with a completely open lane to soak up as much attention as possible this weekend. It couldn't possibly be the case that, oh yeah, it's going to be the biggest bomb in the MCU's entire history. The Marvel's heading to the lowest opening ever for Disney MCU at 47. I'm sorry, I wouldn't even begin to misrepresent the fact that this would had the potentiality of making $57 million. $47 million to $55 million, despite Star's last-minute promotion post-actor strike. Oh wow, imagine that. The people that you didn't like enough to go watch in the theater didn't have enough pull to get you to go to the theater. Big shock on that one, guys. Come on now. Friday box office update. Do we have an update on the Friday stuff? Because I was just more concerned about the Thursday previews and the fact that they trailed behind. Yes, sir. There's a reason I brought up The Flash, because that's not the last time we're going to be talking about that. The Marvels is shaking up to be the lowest domestic opening ever for a Disney Marvel Cinematic Universe title, with a 3-day swing of $47 to $55 million. That's lower than Marvel Universal's Incredible Hulk in 2008. Yo. And lower than Ant-Man. That's the original Ant-Man. Yo. Domestic box office total right now, the lowest of the year for Marvel is the third Ant-Man film, so pardon my misspeak. Wait a second. Oh, what about Howard the Duck, which debuted to $5 million in 1986? Sorry, what? No, who was talking about Howard the Duck? We're talking about all these movies steered and produced by Kevin Feige, who, with all of the damning reporting that we've seen over the past month, has seemed to have skated on everything. He was propped up, even that Variety article, as, oh, he's a master of post-production, but golly, gee darn it, he was just, he's just been overworked. He's just been stretched too thin. It was everybody else who was the problem, and not good old Kevin Feige. Largely while he was producing Paramount and Disney Marvel movies, including Incredible Hulk, being in the canon with cameos by Iron Man's Robert Downey Jr. Did he cameo in that? I remember watching that and not thinking it was too bad, and definitely that Edward Norton was a much better Incredible Hulk than Mark Ruffalo, but we're parsing hairs that aren't going to matter. But more to the low openings for Marvel movies. Yo, the others. Oh, there have been others outside of Disney's MCU, so Sony stuff. Morbius, $39 million in 2022. 20th Century Fox, 2015. Fan 4 Stick, $25.6 million. Blade in 1998. See, a Blade film that actually had and did come out and was the original film that did save Marvel's cinematic prospects, by the way. $17 million. And Fox Marvel's Daredevil spinoff Elektra. Yo. Shit's tough when you have to go back and cite those as your sources. See, guys, it isn't as bad as it has been. Friday looks, okay, and they're just trying to, they're out there projecting what they think is going to happen on Friday with a $21 to $22 million update. And, well, I was kind of interested because here I have my own, okay, so Cineplex Odeon, Grand Prairie, okay. I was just looking, okay, the screens that are available, okay, the times that are there, who's going down and checking this stuff out, okay. So we got the 7 p.m. showing that'll be taking place relatively shortly, probably by the time that this is up, okay. That seating will have already started. Not that it's been sold out, because here's the up-to-date seating chart. Everything that's gray has been purchased, by the way, but there could be some walk-ups or something like that, or maybe everybody's just waiting until the 10 to 10 screening where 5 seats have been sold. But that's okay. Also, okay, that's just the 3D screening. Nobody wants to go to a 3D screening, okay? Even when that shit was popping, okay, that's going to be totally different. Okay, what about your regular seats? Okay, let's just go. Let's just run down all of this shit. Fuck it, I don't care. Yeah, we'll go preview seats. I ain't buying any of this shit. Okay, so the 6:30. Okay, so this is okay. It's maybe this one won't be as full. Obviously, right? No. This one is right in time for dinner, okay? If you're going to be taking a date out for the old antiquated date of dinner and a movie, it's probably a little bit too early, right? Maybe people are going for the 7:30 showing. This one's going to be a very similar position, okay? That one might, okay, that one has the potential of at least being about 3/4 full by the time the walk-ups take place. That could very much happen. 9:30? 9:30 is 9:30! Holy shit. Okay, we got 7 tickets sold for that one, and I don't think that 10:05 is going to be a whole hell of a lot better, but no, everybody's just waiting for Saturday, so don't worry about that, guys, okay? I'm going to be driving past that place here in a little while. I'll be able to see, you know, maybe it's just going to be late market traffic, and you might be thinking to yourself, Don, you're up there in Grand Prairie in the middle of fucking nowhere, okay? What does your anecdotal evidence provide to anything in regards to that? Well, I kind of think Grand Prairie's a decent example. The Cineplex Odeon that we have here is the biggest theater that you're going to find for, I'm trying to think anything that's close. Like Fort McMurray is about a 4-hour drive in the other direction. Maybe Fort St. John has an equivalent theater. Like that's about the closest, but that's 2 hours and a province over. Then you got to go down, I don't think, maybe Whitecourt, and then that's still like a 2-hour drive. We have a service area, and I've talked about this before, where we service about 100,000 people. And as it sits right now, you know, it's actually one of the nicest fall seasons that we have ever had. It's beautiful weather, so if anybody wants to go out to the theater, they're not going to be impeded by inclement weather. It's not like there's a snowstorm on the horizon. You can just go down there. Okay, you could even walk. Hell, you could bike ride down there, and it would be totally copacetic. So there's nothing impeding anybody for turning up to this stuff, okay? It's just nobody fucking cares. Word of mouth travels. And to that one dickhead, okay, who's highly likely to not even be watching at this point in time. I did the video. I remember the thumbnail that it had on there, but he's like, oh, the movie's not even out yet. How do you know it's a failure? Get better content. You know what, dude? Hey, suck on my better content. You fucking dork. We can look at the numbers beforehand to know that something that costs north of $300 million in production budget with marketing over the top of that, you're looking at about 400 bills. Yeah, dummy. We know something's going to be a flop fucking beforehand. And then you clock in with the Thursday previews. That's where you end up with these long-term projections over the weekend, even with a fucking holiday. Most people got the Friday off. Some people will get the Monday off. Maybe Sunday will just be a huge day for people to go and check out the cinema. I fucking doubt it, though. So you can take the bellwether of $6.5 million in Thursday night previews. $6.5 million in previews. What does that mean? Somebody has aggregated what exactly that means, and brother, it ain't good. 6.6 million. Okay, so according to this chart that you have right here for the Marvels, okay, he has this compared to The Eternals, which was a bomb in and of itself. Nobody likes that film at all who has ever seen it. A lot of people have already forgot that it came out this time 2 years ago. It made $9.5 million in its Thursday preview, and it went on to be Marvel's first verifiable fucking flop. Lost hundreds of millions of dollars. And then, okay, maybe a more contemporary comparison, shall we? The Flash. There it is. And it made $9.7 million It made over $3 million more, and it only went on to lose Warner $300 million. Yo, we are looking at a catastrophe. And then you got Black Widow making $13.2 million in Thursday previews, when it also had a day-and-date release on Disney streaming when it first was coming back to theaters with all of these Disney releases. And then earlier this year, the low watermark Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, that only made, what, $400 million? It did, in fact, lose quite a bit of money. Not as much as the Marvels is about to lose, $17.5 million. It is the tallest dwarf in this comparison. Brother, it's bad. And it's over. It is fucking over. We are right now reading the death rights for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm sure whenever Deadpool 3 eventually does roll around with all of those legacy characters, all of the remaining keys left to be jangled, that'll probably be a huge earner for them. There's enough big names attached to that. Hugh Jackman's putting back on the Wolverine suit, his first comic accurate depiction of the suit ever. Oh, it's gonna be so great. I remember the things. You guys remember the things? It's so great to see the things. Do you remember the things? And Deadpool, oh my god, Ryan Reynolds, he's gonna be in that as well. And there's also rumors that, hey, even the previously mentioned Wesley Snipes' Blade could be making a... Oh my god, you guys remember the thing? Go see the movie. It's going to be making a lot of stuff. You think that goodwill's going to carry over to Captain Black America, Falcon, Brave New World Order? Yeah, I don't fucking think so. It's done. This is it. You flooded the market with fucking toxic shit for way too goddamn long. And I leave you with this question, something that I've been positing over the past few Marvel related videos. There is one more superhero film left to be released this year. One more from Marvel's big competitor. Will Aquaman 2 perform better than the Marvels at the box office? I'm wondering. At least there's one big draw. There is one thing that the Aquaman sequel has that the Marvels doesn't. Jason Momoa, one likable star, okay? It has that over with the Marvels. It's still going to be a terrible film. The plot is likely not to make sense. It does have the burden of DC hanging over it, but it does have the goodwill of Jason Momoa. It does have the timing of being the biggest minnow in the pond during the Christmas season, releasing on December 22nd with no other competition in the theaters. I don't even know if the Marvels will make it to the end of the year in the theaters before it gets yanked out. But we do have a little bit of insight, and I've always said, I've maintained the position that, yeah, the Marvels, just for the simple fact that it's, under the MCU umbrella, as damaged as, hole-ridden as that umbrella is, it's still likely to make more money than that, because, Aquaman does have a bunch of different baggage. And then we just got some, plot synopsis, a leak out here that Aquaman the Lost Kingdom director James Wan reveals he completely changed the film's villain, or the version of Karshan. Villain, now a powerful female Atlantean politician instead of a human shark. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced that the Marvels is still going to perform better than than Aquaman 2, but even with that information coming out, with all the bad faith towards it, if Aquaman 2 performs better than the Marvels, it's clearly misogyny. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.